Okay, hello, right? Today our group will introduce a book that is considered one of the best books of all time. My group have the following member anh Mỹ, Việt Khoa, Ngọc Anh, Quỳnh Lan, and me, Thanh Ngân. The book that we recommend to everyone is Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights is such a classic, a love story encapsulated in the most of Northern Islands, but no less intent under the story is to that because it's only revolve around the revenge of two family when fully understanding about love. Reader will enjoy this strangely. The work belongs to the genre of fiction. The reason reader should choose to read this book is because this is a classic book about love, hatred, and above all, the pain and tragedy of couple happy ending but still haunting the reader's heart persistently. In each page of the book, reader can feel the affections to the extremely very war between the white and the Sussex Yorkshire countryside. The character become more beautiful than ever. Wuthering Heights is always a good and emphatic story about love. Wuthering Heights, the novel, leads reader to thousands of new things and many emotions for love. People are willing to sacrifice, uh, ready to run after crazy, fascinating talk, and then plan persistent hatred in their hearts. What the hatred through us, or maybe is the emotion that are illusory way and then immerses in a world of loneliness and deathlock gives feel and decrease through the endless flow of time.
Wuthering Heights is a masterpiece of love, leaving readers a deep impression on revenge, obsessions, patience, and loneliness. So, the story tells the love affair between Heathcliff, the lowly adopted child of the Onshore family, and the beautiful lady Catherine Onshore. As a story written in the 19th century in the countryside in England, Wuthering Heights is not a horror evil story like its name, but a story of love. The love is full of contradiction, a tone that readers cannot find anywhere other than this story. The love story between Catherine and Heathcliff surpasses on standards and at the time. So when the aristocracy and the laborers were two different classes, but um, the two of them were together during childhood, and then they have love when they don't know, but because of that intense barrier, the status is richer. So during the time of love, they also live in suffering. They see each other but cannot get, and then the death of both, like a new start, and the horizontal days throughout the novel is an obsession, and the obsession starting from the brutal treatment of Catherine's brother, um, because Heathcliff won on the deceased father's love while he was still alive, and because he was often unworthy of their position. So until Vic was when Catherine decided to marry another man. That moment, Heathcliff could not go crazy anymore. He decided to turn into a devil since then. But he could not know that Catherine has long loved him, loved the different personality, loved because they were a copy of each other. So that when no one said any other person could know the other person, and she chose to marry Linton to have him change his life, escape Hindley's brutality, and the choice by the immature thought of a young girl that foresee Heathcliff's wild nature.
Hello teacher and everyone, my name is Brontë, and now I will talk about the lesson after reading the Wuthering Heights. One lesson we can learn from Wuthering Heights is that love and pain are almost inextricably linked, and one only has to look at the relationship between Heathcliff and Catherine to see this, and though their love is very powerful and passionate, it also brings them both considerable pain and suffering. Love is thus represented in the novel is very complex and almost mysterious in its strange workings, and any classic novel offers a host of potential lessons. I will concentrate on three that I think are prominent in Wuthering Heights and attempt to justify that decision. And the three are fairly simple and familiar ones, but the way Wuthering Heights lay out these lessons and their consequences is powerful. And the first is that love isn't enough for happiness, but money isn't enough either. And the second one is people often don't know what's best for them, and age is no guarantee for a better judgment. And the final is intergenerational family abuse and trauma are real and should not be underestimated, but can be overcome. An Orinoco wombled in tiny bag and on road. Don't get so goddamn obsessed over whomever you loved, and don't use your love for someone to rule other people's lives, including the life of the ones you loved. And yes, I think Heathcliff loved Catherine alright, and for me, that was kind of the point. A possessive love that is so often portrayed in classical literature is a lot more destructive than people like to think. And now we will move to the next part.
About the reasonable things in this story, I want to mention two ideas. The first is class distinction. Although she loved heavily, Catherine was conscious of her status. Catherine chose Edgar as her husband, a rational choice, because he was the one who truly loved her and gave her everything she needed. Because in that society, love is nothing compared to power. Helpless cannot get the girl he loves, and the second thing, Wuthering has depicted the inner world of those who receive love. It is the terror force of love that brings up the dark side of the characters in the story. Selfishness, heartache, jealousy, and fear. Sometimes the focus of the book is on the consequences of how people live and what happened to them and those who around them.
So my part is about the unreasonable things in the stories. Wuthering Heights is significantly excellent, captivating that contain both dramatic content and meaningful lessons about love, people, and life. However, the book still contains unreasonable things compared to current social knowledge. The force that makes it difficult for contemporary readers to accept is the vivid depiction of two people with ways of thinking, behavior, and love that are completely contrary to contemporary moral standards. The intensity and the madness of love, plus conspiracy from make the reader surprised and shocked until now. In the middle of the picture of mountains and hills are the portrait of two main characters, a beautiful but rebellious lady, a wild man because of love, he's turned into an animal. There's a lot of nonsense in the book. Heathcliff hates his own song because his song have betrayed a person he hates, and Haddon, who should bitterly hate Heathcliff, but in contrast, he showed more love to Heathcliff than his own fathers. The relationship in this book is kind of very close to each other's. There are also blood-related weddings between cousins. Everything overlaps, love and hate are mixed up in jumble. Then the psychological complexity of each person in the story make everything more confusing and obscure. So that's bring me to the end of our presentation. Thank you for your listening and watching.